Dr. Coles, you recommend an approach to mental health that is scientifically grounded but not pharmaceutically driven. How do you separate the two?
Well, the problem, of course, is what the diagnosis is in the mainstream medicine. Psychiatry and physicians have labels for things, and they often label patients kind of on inadequate information. So right off the bat, what the label is kind of determines in mainstream medicine and psychiatry what the treatment is.
So they label people.
Yeah, people are labeled, and they may be mislabeled, and therefore perhaps mistreated. So what my objection then in mainstream medicine is that drugs, which are often toxic, are the first line of treatment.
But how can the science help you do a holistic approach?
Right. The science is very complicated. It's something that most of us physicians haven't had the chance to really learn what actually goes on at the brain level, at the synapse level, at the molecular level. And so we kind of trust the pharmaceutical industry for telling us what they want us to know, that these drugs are good for you, that they're safe, that they're not addictive, and that they do something like rebalance mythical chemical imbalances. So right off the bat, we're dealing with a huge problem, kind of a huge propaganda effort that has brainwashed most of us physicians to think that it's simple. The person has sadness, we label them depressed. They are anxious, we label them with anxiety disorder, and then there's always a half a dozen drugs that we can choose to try.
Is that why you say it's pharmaceutically driven?
It's pharmaceutically driven. The big pharmaceutical industry is so wealthy and so powerful and so ubiquitous and does such a cunning job of brainwashing doctors as well as patients now that we're overwhelmed with the just that power. And so it's important for people to have alternative voices, such as what I'm saying, and other healthcare practitioners that are interested in holistic health.
So is this a wake-up call to the medical profession?
It sure should be. They're not listening. I take every opportunity I can to inform people at the grassroots level, the consumers or the people who are thinking intuitively, I don't think this is right, or I don't like being drugged, and I don't feel good when I'm on them, and I can't afford them on top of it. It's making me drowsy or hyper or whatever, giving me side effects. And so there are some out there that are looking for alternatives. Unfortunately, there aren't very many physicians that are offering alternatives, and since the big business of pharmacy is so incredibly powerful and has so much marketing power that they drown out all the alternative voices. And there's not much money to be made in prevention in the first place.
No, there isn't, but it sounds pretty frightening.
It is. I think we're in a serious, serious crisis. I know that 10 years ago there had already been 23 million people that had tried Prozac, just Prozac, 23 million. That's a huge proportion of the public. And then there's, dozens and dozens of other drugs that we don't know how many people have been on those. I don't know. So we have people whose brains are being altered, and the safety of these drugs long term has not been tested. Before they get on the market, these medications have not been tested for more than a couple of months. And then as soon as they get improved, then people start taking them for years and years and years in combinations that have never even been tested in the animal lab. So it is a crisis, and it's a huge, massive experiment, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be, except we're getting inkling into the serious outcomes of this with brain damage and addictions, et cetera.
Well, thank you, Dr. Coles.
Yeah, you're welcome.